Tonight, a 12-year-old boy returns home safely hours after he was reported missing by his parents. Eyewitness News is on the story. Also, government continues to pass financial bills in an attempt to keep the Bahamas off the blacklist. And later, jet ski operators and visitors sound off on a recent U.S. travel advisory. This is Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News brought to you by Flow Evo, powered by BTC. Flow Evo is here.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Candino Knowles. Thanks for joining us. Off the top tonight, the day began with police reports of a third missing child, but that report soon changed after the boy was later found at home after being missing all night. It's a story you'll see from our Clint Watson only on Eyewitness News.
You know, I was very concerned about him. I thought maybe somebody don't kidnap him, so we are kill him or go drown him, something. You know, a lot of things was going through my head.
A distraught father irate that his son, 12-year-old Brendan Williams, was missing the entire night but turns up home early this morning.
And when did you recognize that he was actually home when we came?
Just now. As soon as you call me.
You've been in the room first?
Yeah. Okay. You call me, you know, I told you the direction here. As soon as I came outside, you were just about to talk to me. You know, my wife just walked down here and told me, my son is inside. I said, what you mean? You remember what I told you when we came? I said, maybe my wife going crazy or something, you know.
Correct.
I don't know what she was talking about.
The father, Cedric Williams, reported his son missing to police last night when the boy didn't return home. Police issued a missing child bulletin this morning shortly after 6 a.m. When we showed the bulletin to the family, the reality hit home.
Missing person. That's you.
When the report came out, Eyewitness News contacted police to find out if a search was being conducted in the neighborhood at that time, to which they said no, although we understand police say they did check earlier that night. However, we still proceeded to find this family, eventually discovering the boy was at home. Our live Facebook feed spread quickly, and police then called the father while we were there, who confirmed the boy was home. The emotional trauma of what has been happening to two other children in the capital is clearly taking a toll on young people. When we spoke to this young Brendan Williams, here's why he didn't go to Freedom Farm as was intended.
So because you heard about the little girl getting kidnapped, you didn't want it to happen to you, so you didn't go to the farm anymore. Which is a good thing. But you see, you have to let your parents know where you are, right?
But this issue has raised a bigger concern, the security of children under the supervision of adults. Why didn't the adult in the home where he slept notify the boy's parents? It's an issue this father pointed out as well.
I'm supposed to send this boy home. She know this boy is supposed to go to school in the morning. Right. I tell this boy to sleep here, just walking distance from here.
Where did he say he was?
Who?
The red house.
Him.
He said he was one of
a neighbor's house.
Yeah. Walking distance here. Want to tell me
walking distance?
Just at the back of this house here.
At the back of that house.
You want to tell me this woman is feel concerned about this little boy? Why can't she walk this boy home?
Thankfully, it ended well for this family, the Williams family. For so many other families in the past, it's not been as fortunate. But these young boys learned a lesson, even in his trying to do what was right because of what he heard has been happening to children. He still made a bad move and didn't notify his parents and slept somewhere else. But tonight, this morning, he's safe. And that means this family can breathe a sigh of relief. In Cool Acres, I'm Clint Watson for Eyewitness News.
Assistant Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernanda confirming to Eyewitness News that preliminary reports reveal that 8-year-old girl abducted from her Milton Street home on Sunday morning and later dropped off at a cemetery was not sexually assaulted. The family of the little girl has maintained that her alleged attacker molested her but never stated that she was penetrated with his private part. Fernanda telling Eyewitness News today that the child is undergoing further medical examinations.
The preliminary investigation, the examination, there's nothing to suggest that she was sexually assaulted. Well, that's the further examination will determine if anything else. You see what I mean? Now, if she maintained that, then we'll know how to classify it.
Now, in the wake of alleged crimes against children, members of the Democratic National Alliance are also calling for no more delays in government implementing Marco's Alert and a sexual offenders registry. In a statement, party officials said one can only assume that the Minister of National Security has dragged his feet or simply fails to see the importance to move with urgency. For more on this statement, please visit ewnews.com. And the Office of the Prime Minister has confirmed that Assistant Commissioner of Police Clarence Reckley, along with two other senior officers, Assistant Commissioner of Police Emmerich Seymour and ACP Stephen Dean, were informed to proceed with accumulated vacation leave with the option to start retirement at the end of their leave periods. In a statement, OPM officials said that the decision is in line with an ongoing restructuring exercise of the Royal Bahamas Police Force and is in accordance with established government policies and procedures. During a press conference yesterday, opposition leader Philip Davis said he believed the move was politically motivated and that Reckley was forced into retirement as he is the spouse of former Urban Renewal Director Michelle Reckley, who, along with several others, were charged on multiple counts of fraud last month. For more on this, please visit ewnews.com. Chairperson of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation Environmental Committee, Deborah Deal, calling for transparency in regard to the installation of a new power plant by Bahamas Power and Light at Clifton Pier. Finnish technology group Wärtsilä has been contracted for its construction. Deal telling Eyewitness News by phone today that she's of the view that a request for proposal for the deal should have been issued.
So many people use the procurement process as income in this country. You know, you have people who clean the sides of the roads. They clean the graveyards. People who supply water to government buildings, stationery and equipment. You know, there's so many things that we bid on in this country that to not put an RFP out really puts us in a situation as to why not, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know how else to say it, but why not? Why not the RFP? So the fact that there was no RFP again, that really just tears the Band-Aid off the wound to so many people.
Opposition members also questioning the Wärtsilä deal tonight. In a statement, opposition leader Philip Davis said that on the face of it, the deal does not add up and said that based on the reported circumstances, it bears some parliamentary scrutiny. The opposition, he said, intends to make a request for select committees in the upper and lower chambers to investigate this matter. And speaking of the lower chamber, parliamentarians today passed the new investment funds bill, which according to Deputy Prime Minister Peter Turnquest, will address substantive legislative gaps in the previous 2003 bill. Turnquest said the old bill missed the mark on key provisions required to regulate the industry by international standards. He says the new bill will also include recommendations from the European Union.
Much would have been spoken about the European Union, the legislation, the changes that we've had to implement in order to ensure that we remain compliant. Included in this bill are some provisions that came out of that consultation process that not only were required to be compliant with the new standards, but also identified areas where we can strengthen our competitive position. Again, taking advantage of the international standards for what may be considered would have been bad for us and turning it around into a positive.
Parents and students of the Snug Corner Primary School in Acklands protesting today over a shortage of teachers. Education Minister Jeff Lloyd addressed the matter in Parliament today, noting that this is a recurring problem facing many schools around the country. He assured, however, that a teacher is being deployed to the island in the shortest period of time.
We in the Ministry of Education suffer a perennial teacher shortage. It has been reducing over the years. It was as high as 100 teachers short last year, particularly in the specialist areas, science and mathematics. This year it's down to 38, but we still have a challenge in finding sufficient teachers to meet the necessary quota in our Ministry of Education. That matter is being addressed. I am satisfied to tell you today, Mr. Speaker, in the House of Assembly, we have secured a commitment of a supply teacher who is a resident of New Providence, but from Acklands and who will be going to Acklands as soon as matters could be arranged for her to be there.
The education minister also speaking to a number of health concerns that have forced the closure of several Family Island schools. There was a reported outbreak of scabies in Inagua and hand, foot, and mouth disease at the government school in Harbour Island. Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands also reported that officials have identified a case of tuberculosis at A.F. Adderley High School and another government high school here in New Providence. Now, the education minister telling Parliament today that the necessary measures are being taken to remedy the situation.
In Inagua, just approximately a week ago, there was a scabies outbreak. School had to be closed and sanitized, and the matter is being addressed there. We also understand that there is some situation in Harbour Island, Mr. Speaker, of a hand, foot, and mouth disease. I sought the assistance of the Minister of Health. Is there one word for hand, mouth, and foot disease? No, but that's what it is. The Harbour Island all-age school. And as a result, that school had to be closed so that those matters could be addressed. And they are now being addressed, Mr. Speaker. The scabies outbreak, sir, seems to be something that is emerging, that is quite unusual. This is the third school that has come down with a scabies outbreak, sir. So we're on top of it.
Well, despite the U.S. Department of State's recent advisory warning about high crime here in the capital, visitors we spoke to today say they feel pretty safe. As for jet ski operators who were once again called out in the advisory, they say they feel they're being wrongly labeled and want to preserve their livelihood. Tia Thompson has this.
No problem. We are safe. It's really good.
Last week, the U.S. Department of State released another Level 2 advisory, warning U.S. residents to exercise extreme caution when traveling to the Bahamas. The Bahamas Ministry of Tourism responded, noting, for the most part, the thousands of visitors that travel to the country do so without incident. Once again, jet ski operators were targeted in the advisory, and visitors were cautioned not to patronize their business. One operator shared that they have amended some of their procedures to better serve their clients.
I don't feel like we are harmed to tourists. Now, we have some people that say that they come to the tourists and, they say that we bombard the tourists, so we don't do that anymore.
As for the visitors, for the most part, they reported that they feel safe.
We have just been walking around Nassau all day today, which has been really nice, and it's super walkable.
It's been great. I couldn't have asked for a better first-time experience.
First time, it's been a really great experience. Everyone has been really friendly.
Jet ski operators at the Cabbage Beach said that despite the negative criticisms against them, as outlined in the advisory, progress within the industry is being made.
We went online and dealing with TripAdvisor and all of those, so you can book with us online, and then they can advise you that we're the right operators to go along with. Based on the comments, people can see that we're doing a good job.
We take care of our tourists. We have the government over us right now that take over the beach and making sure the beach is running with a rotation. So we have a rotation basis that we're running right now that everybody is abiding by.
The operators added that the industry is one that they have to preserve as it is their lifeline, and guests to the island had nothing but positive comments about their Bahamian experience.
It would affect us dramatically. We would lose because we depend on the cruise ships. Been here for 27 years taking care of tourists, and they come here, they come. I see tourists come back who I been dealing with year after year.
Been extremely friendly, and I haven't felt unsafe at all.
No, I mean, we were walking around this morning. I had asked for directions a couple of times, and everyone was really nice about it, and I don't think we felt unsafe yet.
No, we felt extremely welcomed. Like she said, we've been kind of lost a little bit a couple times, and we've asked for directions, and it's been really a positive experience.
Reporting for Eyewitness News, I'm Tia Thompson.
We are just getting started in Eyewitness News, but when we come back, it's a new business promoting a healthy lifestyle with a twist. We'll tell you about it coming up. And later today marks the beginning of the Lenten season. What are you giving up? We've got reaction. But first, here's a check on tonight's weather forecast.
This portion of the news is brought to you by J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, giving you peace of mind.
You are looking at live pictures outside of our studios where the temperature is right around 70 degrees. We've got an expected low of about 64. This is Eyewitness News. Welcome back. Well, Eyewitness News is putting the spotlight on the small and medium-sized business community, and we've spoken with a number of operators who continue to contribute to the economy despite the challenges of doing business. This next business owner you're about to meet is the creator of Juice Box, Crystal Stubbs. She spoke with our April Sands on her 3-week-old smoothie shop, which she says was created to service a very specific target market. Take a look.
It's the newest health craze, juicing.
I love it. It's delicious. Wow. It's literally perfect.
Crystal Stubbs, owner and founder of Juice Box, says she's always been a health fanatic, but it wasn't until recently she turned it into a business.
About 6 years ago, I really started getting into my health. Right? Because before I actually came back to the Bahamas, I was living in Vancouver, Canada, where I actually gained a lot of weight. So once I got back home, I'm like, you know what? I really need to try to see what I can do. And I saw a friend of mine actually started, making healthy like green smoothies. I'm like, kale, spinach, banana. What is that? Like, what are you doing? We eat these. We don't drink these. What are you doing? So when that was introduced to me in a liquid form, it was just amazing. I'm like, okay, this makes it so easy, just to be able to, to just take it in very easily and not have to force yourself with a fork and stuffing your mouth with, greens.
While her menu has a wide variety of all-natural fruit smoothies, her mission to get into the juicing business was bigger than just to sell.
This area, which I wanted to do, was to really focus in the inner city. You can have it out west, you can have it all the way out east, but I didn't want to forget the persons in the inner city. You can have different restaurants around that area that providing them something fast, quick, but is it healthy?
What would be your best advice to anybody coming up right now?
You have to start from somewhere. Don't feel pressured to have everything at once, and then you basically close before you can even open up. You have to be patient with yourself. I know for me, I didn't have everything. I didn't have a lot of money. I don't have millions of dollars in the bank to start off a business, like a large business. So for me to start off, I had to basically do little small things, and for me to be like, okay, I'm dedicated and I'm ready to start this. So what I did was, if I had to buy just one blender at a time, that's what I did. So I went out there, went on Amazon, bought one blender. Okay, 2 weeks from now, I'm going to buy a cutter. The next week, I'm going to buy a juicer. So it's all progress.
So the next time you're in the East Street area, feel free to stop by. April Sands, Eyewitness News.
Well, today you may have encountered Christians, especially Catholics and Anglicans, bearing a cross of ashes on their foreheads, marking the start of the Lenten season. It's a time when Christians confess their sins and profess their devotion to God, typically through giving up something they love for 40 days. Anglican Archbishop Drexel Gomez and Catholic Deacon Sam Mitchell telling Eyewitness News the importance of self-sacrifice during this time.
Show your sincerity by coming from the heart. Whatever you do for the Lord must come from the heart. We must be genuine.
Ash Wednesday is very important in the life of the church because it is a day when we must come to the realization that God has asked us to do something, and that is to fast so that we can be drawn closer to Him. We live in a world in which we have no time for meditation. God is asking us to think about our desert experience and draw closer to Him.
All right, coming up in tonight's BTC Connection, the company takes its Neighborhood Connect initiative into Pinewood Gardens. And later in sports, Randy Smith is off the top with all the latest action. Randy?
Kendino, the BAISS Track and Field Championships kicked off today. We have day one results and more coming up in Eyewitness Sports. Good evening, everyone. I'm Randy Smith, and welcome to Eyewitness Sports. Leading off tonight, the 2019 BAISS Track and Field Championships kicked off today at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. Today's session featured the finals of the 1500, hurdles, and 400s. After the first day of competition, the QC Comets lead the pack with 434 total points. The Sac Big Red Machine is second with 396 points, followed by St. John's with 153 and Temple Christian with 103. St. Anne's rounds out the top 5 with 87 points. Action on the track continues tomorrow at the National Stadium. In sailing news, the Bahamas National Sailing School is preparing to host its annual Youth Winter Championships this weekend at Montague Bay. KPMG will serve as the title sponsor for the event, and action in the water kicks off at 10 a.m. on both Saturday and Sunday.
We're expecting about 70 sailors this weekend, right? Mainly in the Optimist class. We will, so we have the Optimist, the Sunfish, and the Laser class. Because this is a qualifier for OptiNam, we're going to have more sailors, and so I say we're expecting in that class alone close to 50 sailors.
In the House of Assembly today, former middleweight boxing champion Bernard Hopkins paid a courtesy call on Minister of Education Jeff Lloyd. Hopkins, who frequently lends his time speaking to challenged youth, says he's using the story of his tough past to motivate kids locally and abroad.
As a guest of our ministry, he is here to assist us in being a motivation and inspiration to our young people. And he also is offering himself to speak to and counsel some of our young men in particular who are this day incarcerated in Her Majesty's prison.
Also in boxing, Lester Brown looks to pick up his fourth win as a pro tonight against Alvin Brown in Pensacola, Florida. Action in the ring begins at 8 p.m. and will be streamed live on UFCFightPass.com. And in a bit of basketball news, Yolette McPhee-McQuinn's first season as the head coach of the Ole Miss Rebels women's basketball team came to an end today, as the Rebels fell 64-57 in the first round of the SEC tournament. Ole Miss closed the year with 6 straight losses, but had some good moments in Yolette's first season, including a win over nationally ranked Kentucky in January. Well, that does it for us in sports, but stay tuned. Eyewitness News continues in a moment. I'm Randy Smith. Have a great evening.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
As a part of our Neighborhood Connect initiative, BTC is taking a proactive measure by going into communities across the country, taking our products and services to our customers. We're at the Pinewood Community Park for a fun day where even Cookie Monster and a lot of other characters have shown up.
Basically what it is we're partnered with so many of the vendors that you see here today. And of course, we want to make sure that persons in the various neighborhoods, we actually make connection with those individuals. We're in their neighborhood providing our products and services to those individuals.
We've done a lot of work in the Pinewood area, bringing FTTH, bringing broadband, bringing TV. So we want to show Pinewood how much we love them. So we've got great deals. We got phones. So fixed services being repaired. We have technicians ready. So we want to show Pinewood just how much BTC loves them.
What we're trying to do is reach out to the community so that customers with service issues, they can come to us, let us know the service issues, and we can fix it right away, right on the spot.
We're in this neighborhood. We're partnered with the Ministry of Agriculture. You see they're out here. The Farmers Association, they're out here. We have various food and drink vendors are out here. So we partnered with all of these individuals just to make it a wonderful community event. You see the children are at the Bouncing Castle. Parents are out here shopping. We have entertainment, and they're just having a wonderful time out here. And that's what what's about.
Ensuring you have unbeatable deals and unmatchable service. These are the moments that move us. At BTC, we're always on. I'm Corval Pyfrom, and we'll see you next BTC Connection.
All right, coming up and beyond the headlines with Clint Watson, a discussion on protecting our children. It comes in the wake of now 3 incidents in less than a month. More on that and beyond the headlines that starts right after this. That does it for us on Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Candino Knoll saying good night.